Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be ranking the top 10 super moves in Injustice 2. I'm going to be making this as brief as possible because I know some of you guys don't want a long video with boring commentary on why I put a certain super move in a certain place. Remember that this is just my opinion, and most of the super moves in the game that are actually really good, making some of these super moves hard to choose whether or not to put them on the tier list. If some of you guys disagree with my ranking list, feel free to comment your ranking and let me know your tier list. Anyways, I'm going to drop right into the ranking. Coming in at the number 10 spot, I put Supergirl. Supergirl's super move starts off with a simple punch before she drags her opponent and flies into space. She quickly does a full loop around the sun before decimating her enemy with a powerful laser, causing a chain reaction of meteors crashing from the sky. I really like this super move because it shows how fast she could really go, doing a full loop around the sun in seconds, and not to mention that epic shot of her shooting a laser with a sun backdrop, which is pretty badass. I feel like in the story she was kind of a goody-goody with not too much epic moments, but this super move really shows how powerful she can be. Alright, coming in at number 9 is Deadshot. Deadshot's super move starts off with him throwing his gun up into the air, and from there he lands an assortment of knife hits or punches into his opponent before his gun lands back into his grasp, and then fires one critical shot to the face. What makes this super move so great for me personally is the fact that this move strikes me as for something Deathstroke would do, considering he isn't in the game, and overall it's just pretty badass. It really shows how skilled Deadshot is in combat. This super move is so dope on so many levels. Bane stops onto the ground, launching his opponent into the air before sort of flying with his opponent and landing a barrage of punches and other attacks. Bane then proceeds to grab his enemy's head and drop them into the ground. This super move makes Bane look really intimidating, reminding me of Zangief's Ultra Combo from Street Fighter. This super move also gives off big WWE vibes for me, which is really cool. Coming from a really big Mortal Kombat 11 fan, this super move of SubZero's has to be my favorite of all his fatalities. SubZero slides with his ice to knock his opponent into the air before freezing them and summoning an ice hammer and smashing it into his enemy. SubZero then teleports in front of the flying enemy to shoot ice shards at them, and finally grabbing their ice sculpture and launching them into the ground. This super move was a great way in showing off SubZero's abilities and how dangerous he can really be. In the number 6 spot, I put Aquaman. Aquaman's super move starts off with him impaling his enemy with his trident before summoning a tsunami to capture them in water. Aquaman bashes them above the water and summons lightning to the trident, smacking them twice. Suddenly, a sea monster leaps from the water and eats the enemy, dragging them down below and leaving them for Aquaman to impale one last time in the chest. I really like the super move and I love the environmental changes throughout the super move, but it's a lot similar to the first Injustice super move, and there's also just better super moves in the game. One of the most hyped up DLCs in the game, I decided to put the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the number 5 spot. A very unique super move filled with lots of team effort. The turtles all attack the enemy at once before launching them into the air and smashing their shells into the opponent's body. What's nice about the super move is depending on which turtle you use, the assortment of which turtle attacks first is different. So if you choose Raphael, they attack first and then the rest of them come to squad, which I think is a neat feature. Number 4 goes to Hellboy. Hellboy starts off a super move by punching the ground and tackling his opponent, sending them below the ground and into the depths of hell. On the way down, Hellboy continuously punches his enemy before knocking them into the fiery surface, while a bunch of creatures circle the opponent. Hellboy grabs an axe before leaping into the air and slamming it down on the foe. I personally really love this super move and it makes Hellboy look like a total badass. In the number 3 spot goes to my favorite DC superhero, The Flash. Spinning the enemy around in circles, grabbing them, and then sending them into the Speed Force, Flash drags the foe through time. The first stop seemed to be some sort of Egyptian statue, where Flash slammed the enemy into. Flash went through the Speed Force again and ran right into a dinosaur where he also slammed his enemy. Flash went through time one last time to meet up with his past self to slam 2 of the same enemy right into each other. I love the environmental changes in the super move and the usage of the Speed Force. This super move is not only badass as fuck, but also makes Scarecrow look like the most intimidating DC character in my opinion. Scarecrow rips a hole out of nowhere, sending crows flying at his opponent. Suddenly, a giant scythe reaches out of the hole and snags them and sends them to a new dimension. A giant Scarecrow appears in this new location and smashes his foe into the ground, still attached to the scythe. One final smash and a gravestone with the enemy's name is seen, which is an awesome little detail. This is by far the most intimidating and one of the most badass super moves I've ever seen, but only one more happens to be better. Easily the most epic and badass super move in the game, Raiden takes the #1 spot. Striking an electric ball into his enemy, Raiden and his enemy are suddenly teleported to a new location, where Raiden punches the foe forwards and then teleporting in front of them. Raiden grabs them and flies into the air before summoning the most epic lightning dragon ever behind an awesome moon backdrop. The electric dragon comes to life and bites the enemy before dragging it down to the ground with an awesome electric explosion. This super move just screams badass and is easily my favorite finisher / fatal blow I've ever seen for Raiden. Alright guys, thanks for watching my top 10 super moves in Injustice 2. As I said earlier, if you disagree with the ranking, feel free to comment yours down below. Anyways, thanks for watching. Maybe hit that like and subscribe button if you like this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.